Welcome back. As we approach the 18th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, there is an entire generation born after that horrific chapter in our history. They have learned that 2,996 people died at the World Trade Centers, the Pentagon, and in Pennsylvania, and now we are sadly on track to lose more people to 9/11 related illnesses than we lost that day. According to the World Trade Center Health Program, as of March of this year, more than 2,350 people have died from illnesses linked to 9/11. Kristie Kiernan Bouryal's book, 9/11 Courage and Tributes, was written to raise awareness among young people and pay tribute to the heroes of September 11th, 2001. And Kristie is joining us now. Thanks so much for coming in. It's the first day of school. We should be talking about lessons that children need to learn. But this book that we just mentioned is actually one of three in a special series, right?
Absolutely. It's called the Discovering Heroes series, and the series aims to do two things. One, increase kids' awareness to 9/11, and two, increase their awareness to the fact that there are everyday heroes all around them, and on 9/11, they did extraordinary things.
You know, we could have a library full of books written about 9/11, but very, very few, if any, have focused on teaching the lessons to children. Why did you decide to write these books for young people? And I think the target age group is
7 to 11.
7 to 11.
Right. They're appropriate for kids of any age. I targeted 7 to 11, and I did it because I saw the need, Roma. 18 years later, we have now a whole generation of kids who know next to nothing about that day. And you're never too young to learn that that's an important day in our history. And that's my view. And I felt it was important to write these books because many kids across this country are not learning about 9/11 in school. And that's because there's widespread variation across cities, states, and this nation, because whether or not it's taught is left to the sole discretion of individual teachers and administrators. And I'm just here to say these books are based on true events, real people, and they'll give kids a foundational understanding of 9/11 so they can learn about more complex issues as they grow older and they get into later grades.
It is obviously a delicate topic. I mean, you don't want to scare the kids. So how do you handle that? I mean, the details were just so horrific.
Two ways. It's about finding the balance. Kids that age need to understand that something happens. It needs to be informative, but not too detailed. It needs to be emotive, not traumatic. I worked very hard to find the balance in these books, and I think that was mission critical. Another key piece is I told the stories through the kids' eyes. The main characters in the books are grandchildren and their grandparents, and the stories only unfold because the grandkids are asking questions and inquisitive, and I think that's important in today's world, that kids inquire because there are so many extraordinary stories around them just waiting to be told.
You know, with this anniversary coming up, it is the first time that the first responders who are suffering from 9/11 related illnesses have a guarantee that the money will be there if and when it is needed, that the Victim Compensation Fund is now permanent. Does that prompt perhaps a new book in your series?
Absolutely. So in 9/11 Courage and Tributes, the kids learn that 9/11 is more than a day in our history. It's a day that's continuing to take lives. 97,000 people are registered with the World Trade Center Health Program. Nearly 52,000 have more than one or more 9/11 related illnesses. And when you just put that into perspective, and the World Trade Center Health Program will say, sure, about 2,450 people now have lost their lives that were part of the program. They won't go so far as to say it was because of 9/11, but let's do the math. More than 97,000 people are registered, nearly 52,000 people are sick, and they have multiple conditions. Many of them, tens of thousands of them, have multiple conditions, like my parents. So I don't like what's ahead, and I think the Victims Compensation Fund, what that did was at least bring a little bit of peace, because even if you don't have symptoms today, it doesn't mean you won't have them tomorrow. These are aggressive illnesses. They're happening to people at younger ages than normal. And the Victims Compensation Fund, I think, brings a little bit of peace to the community, and it's about time.
It does, and it continues the story, which should never be forgotten.
Absolutely.
All right, very quickly, where can we get these books?
BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, FDNYShop.com, which benefits the New York City Fire Department, many other stores, bulk sales through Ingram.
All right. Kristie Kiernan Bouryal, thank you so much. Understanding heroes, very important.
Thanks for having me, Roma.
Yeah, all the best.